sometimes people have what it takes, but they haven't recognized it yet. Just go forward. So what do you need to do? How do you stand out? So what you need to do is be that person that's different and is bigger than you think. Rise from the ashes and fly like the phoenixes that you are. Welcome, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. As always, appreciate you guys being here. This is Andrew David, Blake Newbar's partner program. Now, we do these for a number of reasons. The goal is to help you guys build your skill set, your mindset, to look at the ups and downs, what it takes to be an entrepreneur, what it takes to be successful. I want to touch on a couple of key things that I thought about recently as I've been having to go back through and organize things and deal with the obstacles that I have in front of me as I'm looking at scaling, and obstacles that I've had to learn to overcome throughout the years. Okay, so I'm going to give you a couple of things, and this keys into organization and management. It keys into mental health, and then a couple of other elements there. So I want to give you guys a couple of just high points. As you're looking at building your business, here's a couple of things that I've learned. So I'm going to share with you a couple of mistakes that I made as I went about doing that. Okay. Number one is get your stuff organized. Be organized. Now, there's a number of reasons that that's important. Number one, you need to have some kind of company, something set up. I'm not sure of laws all over the world. I know here in the US. So whether you're going to run it as self-employed, S Corp, C Corp, LLC, whatever you're going to do, have somebody work with you. If you know how to do all that stuff, that's great. You can absolutely find all of the answers to this on Google. If you want to, you can use Prime Corporate. If you want to use somebody else, I don't care what it is, set yourself up so that legally you are in a good place and you're able to take care of your taxes the way you need to, and then keep your paperwork organized. What you make, what you spend your money on, what you're able to deduct. Work with someone that can work with you. Work with someone that's not just, now this goes beyond just, and no offense to them, but someone that's doing, H&R Block, or someone that sets up to do taxes in Walmart, a few times a year. It's not what I'm talking about. I need you to find somebody that can work with you, especially here in the US and Canada, that knows about the tax laws, that is able to help you take advantage of what's been put in place for small business owners so that it's done the right way. And then whatever you do with it, keep it organized. And I say that because and I've talked about this before, with divorce years ago, everything, during the ups and downs and craziness and me trying to deal with anything and everything and moving time and time again, a W-9 here, a 1099 there. You got to keep your stuff organized. And I know for many of you, you're hearing this and you're going, well, no kidding. Of course, I'm a grown ass adult. I take care of my stuff. But I know that there's some of you that also are hearing me and hopefully not hopefully, but you're probably cringing a little bit and recognizing that you can do better. So I'll just say that, right? There's stuff there. This morning, speaking with my attorney, I opened up a folder that I thought had all of one thing in there, and I found something that I've been looking for the last 2 weeks that shouldn't have been in that folder. I went, wish I was more freaking organized. And if you can't get organized, find somebody that can help you out. Okay. Number one, get yourself organized. Number two, get your credit right. There are so many benefits of having great credit. One simple one that has nothing to do with your business. Your insurance rates are lower. Your life insurance rates are lower. You're able to get approved for other stuff. There's, if you're using credit and business credit, especially as you're building your business and you're doing it the right way, you end up accumulating points. They give you more. It's all of this other stuff so that, travel becomes cheaper because you're doing things you need to do. Just get your credit right. One of these days I'll bring on a buddy that's a credit expert. We'll get into it, but get your credit right. Let me just say that. Okay. And I know a lot of people are working for that. But that's just a side note. Okay. Number three, get your health right. Physically, if you're breaking down physically, if you are too much overweight, if you aren't eating the right foods, if you're not sleeping, if you're not exercising, it messes with your emotions, it messes with your mood, and it messes with your cognitive capabilities. Your brain won't function the way it needs to if you're not active. There are people that either live or listening to this or on the recording that are hearing that and saying, well, but my situation is X. Figure it out. Go to a doctor if you need to go to a doctor. Do something more. Even if you're at a point where you're almost laid up and you're unable to do most things, there's still something that you can do. The benefits from simply going on a walk and being out in nature, it helps you with your physical health. It will help with your mental health. It helps reset you in so many different ways. Natural sunlight, being outdoors, fresh air, physical activity, something. And others are at a level where that's not enough and you need to do more and you need to do more and more. Look, longevity is important. You know, I've mentioned this, but my dad passed when he was 48. And the reason that he passed, I mean, he was in the hospital, went in for a single bypass. They messed something up. And so, you know, his death is always untimely. It's never a good time to die. But he passed, I believe, before his time. But point of fact is that he was there because he had made poor health choices for years and years and years, and then wasn't paying attention to what he needed to in order to get things fixed. He had started working out and he had started drinking more water. He had started eating better, but he delayed going in and getting things checked up. So when I talk about physical health, I mean that you should be exercising. I mean that if you haven't been in a long time, because you may have some weird fear of doctors, or you're worried about co-pays and things. But guys, a physical is less than $100. And if you want to do a blood test and everything else, then you can get just about all of the basic stuff done for under $500, even without insurance here in the US. All around the world, I'm not totally sure, but you can get done just about anything you need, guys. There's no excuse not to. So please take care of your health. I mean, we do all of this, but take care of you physically. Okay. If you need to see a doctor, see a doctor. If you need to have a personal trainer, because they're going to be the ones that kick your butt and get you going. We've got a number of them that are on this call. Then do it. If you're struggling to find the motivation to do it, then talk to me, or sit down and think about your family and go, well, if I don't decide to take care of my health now, what happens to them when I die in a couple of years? Because I just didn't care enough to do it now. I mentioned my dad was 48. I didn't really, I had taken my health seriously when I was younger, but then I went through a time when it wasn't a priority. Look, it's so worth it. Not just because I've got a much better chance of being around when my kids graduate, or for some of you guys, grandkids. You know, my dad never got to meet them, never got to meet, watch any of his kids get married, never got to see us do any of this stuff, at least here on earth. And I don't want that to happen. I turned 42 this week, 6 years away from when my dad, that scares me. So I've made the choices I need to be around longer. So take care of your health. Okay. Get yourself organized, take care of your credit, take care of your health. Next one is take care of your brain, your mental health. I mean, you guys, I've done trainings on mental health and your brain health, and you can go to my Instagram. Just the other day, I posted an infographic about it, but this boils down to all of these things that we're talking about: exercise, diet, time with friends, sleep, water intake, reading, all of those things. But take care of your brain health and mental health. I'm going to put the two of those together. Okay. I bring that up because I saw over the weekend, I mean, COVID has affected so many different people in so many different ways. I know I've got a close friend right now that's in the hospital. He's responding great to treatment, but he's older. And so he was kind of in that prime category. He's over 70, and, some other factors that kind of led to him being there. But you've got things like that. You have people that businesses shut down, work ended, relationships were strained because of things like COVID. Two people that I know, and one I had, played baseball with as a kid. I hadn't talked with them in 25 years. And then another one that I just know from having met at a couple of events and then, occasionally messaging online, but two different people that I know decided over the weekend that they didn't want to continue on and, are no longer around. And it's weird when you have relationships at times where, pretty far removed from them at this point, but it just hits home how important mental health is. So if any of you are in a place where you need some help, search it out. Last week, I found a therapist online in a matter of 10 minutes. So if you can't find anyone, if it feels difficult, they're there. Find some help. Okay. Just find them. They're there. And if you're scared to go talk to a doctor, but you need to talk with someone, that's part of why this group is here. If there's someone that you're comfortable with, if it's not me, that's fine. If it's somebody else, if it's a family member, just reach out and talk. And you don't necessarily have to say, hey, I'm in a bad place, I need to talk. Just say, hey, I could really use a good conversation right now. And recognize, guys, you're not alone. So brain health and mental health are more important than I can stress when it comes to anything but building up this business. There's the technical skills that we could get into. Blake talked about listening to your audience and marketing and relationships, and I talk about research and marketing and time management. But self-awareness would be and when I say self-awareness, what I really mean is your emotional intelligence. Work on that. Okay. Yeah, Michael, brain and body are 100% interlinked. Your brain will function better when you're taking better care of your body. And if you're trying to do what you can to take care of your brain, it gives you a little more incentive to get up and work out because you'll feel some more of those endorphins and the positive dopamine. So work on your emotional intelligence. Okay. Now, I've done a ton of long, in-depth trainings there. Your emotional intelligence is different than your IQ. It's your level of self-awareness, your self-management, your social awareness, your social management, understanding who you are in every situation, understanding who you are by yourself, understanding how other people see you, managing how you are in those situations, not allowing emotions to control you, but allowing them to guide you in a positive way, understanding that certain emotions come about simply because of how we instinctively react in a certain situation that is nature, but then also seeing how much you have control over those feelings and those emotions. Okay, so your emotional intelligence. So let's see. Look into Silver Sneakers program. Absolutely. Yep. YMCA Planet Fitness memberships. A lot of them do. And even if it's something to remember, so Lynn's saying that insurance will help take care of some of those. But guys, if you're in the US, Planet Fitness it's like 10 or 12 bucks a month, 15 bucks a month or something. Like that's nothing. And it's the no judgment zone. So like I can't go in there and deadlift like I'd like to. They don't like that. You get the lug alert buzzing. I may have caused that once or twice back in the day, but it's a great place to go work out. And if you go, I don't want to join a gym because I'm worried about other people judging me. Well, then there's two things that need to happen. Then you need to go out and you need to start getting more active on your own. And you also need to work on your emotional intelligence because stop worrying so much about how other people judge you. Stop it. Quit editing yourself to help someone else feel comfortable. Damn it, it's just so not worth it. At some point, you've got to just be you. And if you're struggling to figure out how to do that and just being yourself and bringing through transparency, not just being authentic. Yeah, nobody cares. Not the way you think they do. And if there's a couple people that are hanging out that do, then that's their problem. And we probably all got, one or two people that really, really do care. But in the grand scheme of things, those are exactly the people that you shouldn't be worried about. And that's going to be one of the last things that I want to mention today is pay attention to who you spend time with and where you get any information or content from. I've talked about relationships and how important that close group is. You have your kind of core five, you have the power team or your circle of influence or your genius network or whatever right around you there. And things change. There was this example that I saw the other day, and we look at how much people influence the way we are raised. Now, not to judge anybody here, I'm just looking at two extremes. You have Arnold Schwarzenegger and Maria Shriver, I think. Everybody knows who I'm talking about. Even if you're not in the US, you guys know who Arnold is. They had kids. After their divorce, one of the children was raised with Arnold, and one of the children was raised with, I'm talking about their two boys. I think they've got some other kids, but one of the kids was raised with Arnold. One of them was raised with Maria. Go look up the difference between the two. And I'm not talking about anything other than the health choices that they made. Essentially, very, very similar genetics, maybe not the exact same genetics. I mean, we can get into, all of that, but you guys get what I'm talking about. Roughly the same age. Look at the difference between the two. One of them looks pretty much like his dad did when his dad was that age. The other one doesn't look as active. We'll say that. And it was influenced because of who he was spending his time with. Yeah, Rick, it's none of your business what others think about you. Absolutely. And yet, how often do we edit ourselves? So pay attention to who's around you, because who you spend time with and who you consume information from is going to play into the mindset that you have, the level of positivity, affirmations, that kind of thing, your finances. It's going to play into how much money you make and how much you're making now. It's going to play into your level of happiness. It'll play into your health, whether that is things like smoking, drinking, drugs, obesity, exercise, et cetera, et cetera. All of that's influenced by who you spend your time with. And one day, maybe we'll dive in a little bit to some statistics there, but it plays a much larger role than any of you guys think. So sit down and go, okay, well, if I need to work on my health, then who do I have around me or who can I bring around me or get information from consistently that's going to help raise my health? I need to work on my mindset. What can I do there? I need to increase my finances. Who else can I spend some time with there? If everybody around you is broke, you're going to be broke. I mean, that's it. If everybody you listen to is broke, you're going to be broke. If all you do is talk with family and they're broke, you're going to be broke. You start leveling up who you spend time with, everything around you is going to level up along with it. It's just the nature of who we are, right? So all of this was kind of brought up just this weekend, guys, looking at all these different factors and what it takes to, and we could call it success. We could call it just getting through life. Pay attention to some of these things. Get yourselves organized. Get your credit right. Spend time with better people. Get your health right. Get your brain health and mental health right. And we'll break all of these down a little bit more. So I love you. Go out, have an amazing day, lift yourselves up, be exceptional. Just go rock and roll. Sometimes people have what it takes, but they haven't recognized it yet. Just go forward. So what do you need to do? How do you stand out? So what you need to do is be that person that's different and is bigger than you think. Rise from the ashes and fly like the phoenixes that you